ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನಾರ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅವನು ಯೂಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಐತಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nimesh Parashram Sangode, Associate Professor from the Department of Rachna Sharir, Parul Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Parul University, Vadodara. I welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Hirimat Sir, Principal Sir, PIR, faculties of Ayurveda, viewers and students. In this today's challenging times of COVID-19, we are the faculty of PIR are more determined to give knowledge to the students by conducting various activities. Such activities such as online lectures, guest webinars, and lecture series. As a part of this initiative, today we have arranged a guest lecture by the Department of Rachna Sharir, Faculty of Ayurveda, Parul University. It's a privilege for us to have an eminent speaker like Dr. Hirimat Sir today, who will be enlightening us on the topic of ancient Ayurvedic methods of preservation of dead body and dissection. I welcome you, sir. I would like
Thank
to
you.
request our Principal Sir, PIR and HOD, Department of Rachna Sharir, Dr. BG Kulkarni, sir, to say a few words.
Good morning. Good morning. Namaskar to all my dear students. I am very pleased to welcome Dr. Kumar Swami Hiremat, who is a senior professor of Karnataka State. He is my very good friend, and he was a former CCIM member. Has got a tremendous knowledge in the field of Sharir Rachana. And really we are very happy to have a presence of KB Hiremat sir as a resource person for today's guest lecture. The topic is very interesting because we need to understand the history of this cadaver preservation. Even though it is mentioned in short in the Shishrut Sahita, but Dr. Hiremat has done a lot of research work in this area, and it is really needed to propagate this knowledge among students and the fraternity of Sharir Rachana. I am very happy to welcome Dr. KB Hiremat sir on this occasion, and I request Dr. Nimesh Sangode to please carry on the lecture. Nimesh sir, over to Nimesh sir. Dr. Nimesh, unmute. Nimesh, unmute.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. It's my honor to introduce today's guest speaker. Sir, Dr. Hirimat sir has completed BMS PhD from Pune University. He is currently working as a professor and HOD of Department of Rachna Sharir in SJG Ayurvedic Medical College, Koppal. He has a vast teaching experience in the subject of Rachna Sharir of 30 years. Sir has been honored with various positions, such as he was honored with the position of CCIM member, New Delhi, Government of India. Then he was honored as a faculty member in RGUHS, Bangalore. He has held the position as an academic council member, RGUHS, Bangalore. Sir has been awarded with various awards, such as the Best Model Teacher in the Sharir subject by All India Institute of Sharir Rachna Research Institute, Lucknow in 2011. He has been awarded with the award of as a Best Physician in 2008. Sir has published many papers in national and international journals. The sir has been awarded with the best article in Ayurvedic and best researcher award by the International Journal of Research under Literal Access. I would like to request students who have joined this meeting to unmute their mute their mic, and if you have any questions you can write the questions in the chat box, and I would like Hiremat sir to please start the lecture, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. You're
very good
audible, sir.
morning to all of you. The Gujarati College, and also the principal and the staff of the Rachana Sharira, who have given me the opportunity to speak about the ancient method of preservation and dissection. So today I would like to explain about that, where the students are badly needed, how the dissection was conducting 5,000 years back. Slide. So now I would like to explain you by showing some slides. Okay, that's already my introduction. I have already told by the principal and the staff. The person who has written very well about the dissection and preservation, we must hats up to our great physician, Sushruta. What do you mean by Sushruta? Su means sitting one side, Shruta means hearing. So you're all sitting there to hear me with a concentration that you will gain the knowledge of about the dissection and preservation. So this is the person we must hats up who have given a lot of knowledge to the anatomy as well as to the surgery. Because of him only 5,000 years back he has done a great work. So because of him only now the ancient science is shining up to 2020 now also. So here is Sushruta, the world's first surgeon, that you know that, and how he was conducting the surgeries where there was no light, there was no magnifying structures, there was no sharp instrument, there was no preservative, there was no anesthesia. But with some techniques, he used to conduct the surgery. That what I am showing. All boys are saying that. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. You're
Is it audible? Is it visible or audible? Both?
Both, sir. Both. It is visible and audible also.
You just ask the students whether they are seeing the.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Students are. Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Visible and audible, no?
Yes, sir. Both, sir.
Okay, right. Okay. So if you are having any problem, just phone me. Whether you are not hearing or whether it is not visible on the slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. No issue, sir.
Because I am showing some interesting pictures. This is how the Sushruta was conducting the surgery. Some the imaginary diagrams we want to show you that they were conducting the dissections on those days. And this is the man who is conducting the dissection by keeping the dead body in the cage where in the flowing water, sitting on a bench where it is tied to the tree. So this is another picture. Now coming to the status of surgery anatomy during different periods. So the anatomy has started in the olden days, 5,000 years back only, where the Adi Manavas, where their food was, they were all non-vegetarians. They used to hunt the animals by throwing the sharp stones or with bow and arrows. When they were shooting the stone, when they were throwing or peddling the stone to the animals or the thigh region or other part of the animal's body, animals were not dying. So they thought to peddle stone, or they want to how to kill the animals. They have planned and they have started throwing the stones on the head and the heart of the animals where the animals were killing. Then after that, after the death of the animals, they have dissected, they have cut and cut and the scene that the in the head brain is there and in the chest there is a heart is there. These are the vital organs, and they think that these are the marmasthana. So the anatomy has started from those days only. Then coming to the Vedic period. In the Vedic period, in the Ramayana, just now in the lockdown period, they have shown in the TV about the Ramayana. Most of the students have not seen earlier that when Rama went to the Vanavasa, the father of the Rama, that is the Dasharatha, has died. And Bharata was also outside the kingdom, and they want to keep the body for 2 to 3 days as a it should not decompose, that Bharata should come. So that time they kept the body in the Tailadrona. Means that time also they were knowing about the anatomy and preservation. This is one of the incident that I want to tell you about this. Coming to the Buddhist period is a very great setback to the surgery and the anatomy, where they have strictly mentioned the Ahimsa Tattva. That time they have stopped the sharp knives and sharp edged any instrument they should not use. When they have banned all these sharp things, automatically the dissection and surgery was stopped. It was a great setback in the Buddhist period. After that, after the Buddhist period, that is a Mughal period. So are you hearing? Hello?
Yes,
Are you hearing?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
visible on the yes, okay. Just you keep
Yes,
on telling
sir.
me yes. Then only I will, mind flow will be there. If you keep mama, shall I think whether you're hearing or not, like that. Okay, after the Buddhists, the Mughal period has started. They have captured India and they have started ruling the whole nation. That time they have dumped their community and they have burned the greatest literature, what they have written in the Tali leaves or in some papers, and some of them they have thrown back and some of them they taken back to their nation. And that is a great setback to in the Mughal period. After that, the British period. British, how many years they have ruled our India? British have ruled us 150 to 200 years. In that year, they have mainly focused on their community, Christianity, and they have dumped most of the modern medicines on us, and they have taken back the Ayurvedic literature, and they have not given any importance to the Ayurvedic literature, and that's why the modern system is totally implemented on India, a great setback to the Ayurvedic field also. So the first medical college started in India. Any one of you know where the medical college started in India? Any one of you? Boys? Which state it has started? Hello, are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You
Yes,
keep
sir.
on telling me yes, often
Yes,
and
sir.
often. Huh? So the college has started in India. First medical was started in the 1936 in Calcutta, and the first person who has done the dissection, that is Dr. Madhusudan Gupta in the 1936 in Calcutta only. And he is the first person who has translated the Charaka into the English. Earlier it was in the Sanskrit. So the great work Dr. Madhusudan Gupta has done in the British period. After that, in the post-independence period, the same thing what the British methodology they have dumped on us, and teaching methodology what they have trained our public, in the same way the medical college have started, and teaching system is still going on in the same way. And but nowadays the new method of teaching anatomy is with the lumen casting and plastination have started. I think you know about lumen casting and plastination. And the plastination and lumen casting, it is a little bit costly. Plastination very costly. Lumen, that is the that is lumen casting. I also done here, and your teachers might have done there also. But plastination is very costly. We cannot do it. But it is a very easy method to teach you. So next, coming to the the review of literature. So to know, to become a surgeon or to become a physician, we should know the anatomy, which is the fundamental subject. So how to study the anatomy? Those days only they have done a great thing, that by dissecting the dead body and explore a dead human body and study each and every organ in it. This is the one method, and studying the theoretically another method of learning anatomy. So this system they have started 5,000 years back only. Those days it is very difficult to get a dead body. I will explain in the future, in the further slides. There is a lot of things are there that I will tell you. Next, knowledge acquired from the study of Shastra can make a man perfect only if it is a supplement by personal observation, whether the study be of anatomy or any other science. That art of medicine should be practiced after solving personal difficulties, both theoretical and practical. So the same system, now also you are studying the theoretical. After the theory, you are going to dissection hall and doing the dissection. That simultaneously what you study in the class, the same thing will be observed in the dissection hall by doing the dissection. This is the only system that you will learn more. Then I hats up to the Sushruta, who has written this great sloka in the Sushruta Sharirasthana, 5th chapter. This is the only sloka that is nothing but it is a basic subject, basic matter, basic thing for all the Gray's Anatomy, Cunningham, Chaurasi, Indrabir Singh, and even for the belly and love also. The great sloka, I hats up to the Sushruta. He has given the whole anatomy in this, where he has explained this sloka, where there was no light, there was no magnifying structures, there was no preservative thing, and there was no sharp instrument, and there was nothing how to collect the dead body. So the great thing he has done, and this sloka is a very important. It is the sloka what he has written, Sushruta. It is the basic thing for all the anatomy and the surgery. This is the basic. So he has written everything in there. That here you might be knowing Samasta Gatram. So that is all the thing that he has kept to Sapta Ratranam. So the everything he has written in this, that I will explain in this slide. While securing a dead body, the following points should be checked: that all the limbs are intact, and death is not due to the poison. The deceased must not have suffered from a prolonged illness. The cadaver is not of a very old person. After removing the intestine and the fecal material, place the body in a stout cage covered with mattresses of fibers of kusha, flax of similar material. So he has explained in this sloka what are the criteria of selecting the body, and which will give the perfect knowledge to the students. So in that way, he has told that in 5,000 years back only, it should not be disease, it should not be poison, and all organs should be well grown. So everything he has explained in that. So next, taking the body, getting the body, and preservation of the body, keeping it in a river, and dissecting, it is a very task those days where there was no facilities. But he has done a lot of things with the minimum availabilities in those days. So the cage is then immersed in a running stream. So he's told that the body should be collected and it should be kept in a cage and allow it to decompose for the 7 days, and every part loose. Then it should be taken out and starting from the skin Every organ should be examined and peeled off with a brush or bamboo stick or similar materials. Every internal and external part of the organ should then be minutely observed and studied. Then coming to that, what is the intention of doing the dissection? So that is the Sharira Vichaya. So he said that is a Sharira Vichaya dissection and Sharira Shodhana, that is a explore or search. One is supposed to do this by keeping in mind that the purpose of Sharira Upakarta. So still there is many research are going in anatomy by doing this. So they want to find out some microstructures, and that is called explore. Every time when you are doing a dissection, every time there is a new thing you are going to learn. That itself he has explained 5,000 years back. This is the purpose of dissection. Now, coming to that, we would like to compare what was the old method and the new method. What are the advantage and disadvantage of old method and new method? So the Ayurvedic methodology of the study of anatomy was based on the actual dissection of a dead human body. The teachers at that time insisted on Pratyaksha Jnana. This was almost all 5,000 years ago. These methods have been proved. It was a rough method because there was no availability of all facilities what you are doing in the dissection hall. May have been proved and given all the details which the modern anatomy gives. The modern anatomy giving a lot of infrastructures to do the dissection in dissection hall, but those days they were keeping themselves in the forest and they have done the dissection. We can call it as a crude method. And the way of Cadbury was effectively used to impart lessons in anatomy are worthy and admirable. So some of the drawback or some of the lacuna in the old method, some of the lacuna in the new method, that we'll compare in the next slides. So far, no experiments have been made to find out whether these methods are effective and useful for imparting the knowledge of anatomy to the present day medical students. So it is that the experiments have not done. Present method of preserving the cardways in the formalin solution and dissecting them for almost 1.5 years may have all the advantage for learning all the details which may not be necessary for basic doctors. So nowadays the syllabus within a short period, the first year is going to become a 1.5 year. They are framing a new syllabus. So what you are studying in 8 months, it is not that much is not possible to learn all these things. That's why the CCIM is making 1.5 year. That time you will learn more detail about the dissection, about the anatomy by doing the dissection, which will helpful to keep and remember those things what you have done dissection. I would like to inform all the students that, hello, students are listening me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whenever opportunity you do, it is mine, what I'm telling you, whenever opportunity you do dissection yourself, you take interest. Many students, I think, they are simply locking their hands backside and standing away from the dead body. Whenever opportunity you do dissection, whatever you dissection artery, ligament, it will remember in your mind forever. So don't escape from that. Take opportunity, do the dissection whenever it is possible. Okay. Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the disadvantages? Disadvantage that of present dissection is because of the formalin solution. It is quite irritant and to the eyes. And if you inhale formalin for a long period, that will lead to the cancer. And also because of formalin, the shrinkage of the organs may take place and discoloration of the organs, that the microstructure will get stiffened, and all these are the disadvantage with the modern. And when you want to take down the organ, when they are preserved like a liver or any organ in the preservative box with the formaldehyde solution, when you take out, the shapes have changed. You cannot exactly tell the border and surface of the organs when you are preserved. So that is the great disadvantage of a formalin. But only thing, we can keep the body for a long period without, it will not allow to decompose. Whenever you inject the formalin, within the 6 hours after the death, it will stop the further dissection, further decomposition of the dead body. That is the great solution they have traced out, and it is at present also it is very good for that. Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, right. The greatest ancient science of Ayurveda used human calf dissection 5,000 years back. It was worthwhile making experimental models to actual working experiment to test the claims made. Even today's students and teachers of anatomy are not happy about the methods of dissection of the human cadaver and the method of preservation of the cadaver, which have many disadvantages. That I told you about the disadvantage of a formaldehyde solution that will quite irritant. Next we'll go to how the Ayurvedic method, the 5,000 years back, they have started doing the dissection. It is a great. So the suitable place for hydro, we can call it as a hydro dissection. What the dissection they have done, keeping the body in the river. So we can give the title as a hydro dissection also. So where they will keep the body, how to select the body, what are the criteria to bring the body from the place where they are going to dissection. It is a great deal and it is a great courage. The experienced person will select those of the bodies and bringing them to the body. In the next slide, I will explain in detail about that with the diagrams. If the water contains in some dissolved substance, it may act as a preservative. So just I would like to tell you dissolved substance. Which are the dissolved substance? Like sulfur. The sulfur, it acts as a preservative. This is possible with the Jammu Kashmir and sub-Himalaya rivers, as at the many places the water has a high sulfur content. Sulfur is a known preservative after coming out of the hot sulfur springs. Sulfur is one of the preservatives. It delay the decomposition of the body. And after coming out of the hot, further downstream, where it cools down, if the water were to rush over pebbles and sandy riverbed, then it could be an ideal site for hydrodissection, particularly when the water containing them is running. So they have taken one opportunity to keep the bodies where the sulfur content is more and the current of water is not so fast. It is running in a smooth manner. The flowing is very smooth manner, and in that river they used to select and keep the bodies where the temperature is extremely cold. This also extreme temperature cold will also acts as a preservative of the dead body. Next, hydration also is dependent upon the speed of water, that is the current of water. And the river must be sandy and not muddy. So if the river contains more sand, we can keep ourselves inside the river and do the dissection. If it is muddy, it is not suitable for the dissections. So this point of view, only the Himalayan rivers could be effectively used for hydro dissection, and possibly few can be pointed out from the Karnataka and Kerala. And the Himalayan rivers contains less number of bacteria and their source of water is the ice. Because of extremely cold, it is having a less number of bacteria. So this, when the water is clear, the decomposition of the body is also delayed. So that's why they select the rivers which are extremely cold, especially Himalayan rivers. And the ice itself is sterile, which will not allow any bacteria, and it will itself prevent the decomposition of the body. That will help to dissect the body, keeping the body in the extreme cold rivers. Even though the mechanical washing action of the river water is the main factor to keep the cadaver sterile. So if the water right from the beginning is bacteria free, then the hydrodissection can be carried out for a longer period of time, which is certainly an asset. So that's why they were selecting the places where the river contained more sulfur and extremely cold, where the icy and sterile. So these are the keeping in the point, they were conducting the dissection, keeping the bodies in these rivers. And the criteria for the selection of the site of hydrodissection should be based upon, it is a great thing, the experimental doctor or Vaidya who is selecting these places, and he is collecting the dead bodies. That I will tell you in the next slide about how they were collecting the dead bodies, where and how they were bringing the dead bodies to the dissection point. It is a great deal. Clarity and purity of water must be there when they want to select the dissection spot or the river. Speed of water current sufficiently strong. Riverbed sand and pebbles, no mud. There should not be no mud. It should contain sand and pebbles. Approach up to the water front absolutely clear and without any plan of life. So the site of a dissection should be away from the eyes of a public. It should be in the forest, or it should be away from the villages or any site of the public. It should be away, quite far away from the public. Then facilities to dig trenches with the canal system. So they are preparing an artificial canal that I will show in the next slides to keep the dead body where they are conducting the dissection. These are the points where they were keeping the body, and these are the points where they were, with these points they were collecting the spot of dissection. Then Ayurveda, as it is old science, it is amazing that even there was a great curiosity to study of human body. Just you see that 5,000 years back, dead body itself is a very horrible thing. They used to keep it away immediately after the death from the house or from the village. Immediately they will take it out. It is a horrible, after the death, they don't want to touch it, they don't want to see it. It is a thing what in our traditional life, in our culture, we don't keep the dead bodies in the home or in the village. But in those days, how they were doing a dissection, it is a great task. It is a great deal. So, human body for the purpose of treatment and surgery, keeping the cadaver in the running stream at a lonely pace, which is not frequented by common public. As I told you, it should be away from the public side. The place away from the water fetching place. The idea for selecting the place for dissection must have been finalized after a great experience. The experienced Vaidya will finalize the spot of dissection where to conduct the dissection. The scientists were aware that the public disliked such a dissection, therefore they took all the precautions to avoid with the common and ignorant public. So those days they must take permission of the king who is ruling that area, and also the thing is this body itself, is the dissecting the body itself is a great courage those days. So they are taking all this courage and doing the dissection in those days. So this is a imaginary plan how they were conducting the dissection by collecting from many Sanhitas and from our elder anatomists. We try to make an artificial or imaginary diagram how they were keeping the body and how they were doing. Just I would like to tell you, this is the river, and this is a trench where they are keeping the body. It is they used to select a place where a river is made a channel. It is not artificial, it is natural. So they will put a trench on that and they will keep that site for the dissection and keeping the body there only. Collecting body and bringing it to the place of study was a task by itself, which required with the courage, presence of mind and zeal to gain the knowledge how the cadavre procured. One does not know. Probably these bodies were donated by the sannyasis. Getting the body itself is a great, because those days, after completion of their responsibility in the home, they used to go to the Kashi Yatra. They were taking out their topi or any rumal. They will keep it on their elder son and then telling that I have completed my own responsibility. I will go to Kashi Yatra. There were no plane, no train, no cars. They have to travel by the bullock cart or themselves they have to go by walk. These were the only transportation those days, and the forests were very thick those days. If they die themselves in the middle, those things, the area which will be ruled by the king, he used to take those bodies and bury there. But and sometimes they were keeping themselves in dharmashalas. The king has made for those yatras, he has made some dharmashalas. They were staying there, and sannyas also they were staying there. When the death have taken place in dharmashalas or when there is no near and dear, that time the experienced wise they are collecting those dead bodies with the permission of the king and taking them to the for the dissection purpose. So the great, I would like to highlight the knowledge of the persons who were removing the GIT before starting the dissection. It is a great knowledge. I would like to tell with forensic medicine, what Narayan Reddy has told that removing the GIT clearly indicates the awareness if these are allowed to remain in cadaver, the putrefaction of the body is uncontrollably quick. The knowledge about antras, amasha and pakvasha, etc. was first gained and then attention was given to the rest of the parts. Here two things we must understand, that they were knowing about the antras, amashes and pakvasha, and second thing we must know that before starting the dissection they used to remove the GI tract, amasha and pakvasha. It is a great thing because in the cecum is a part which is a very helpful, which is in the cecum there are millions of bacteria are there. These bacteria will digest the undigested food material which are not digesting in the small intestine. The poor 2% of the digestion takes place in the cecum and the large intestine by the bacterial enzymes. The three types of food like starch, carbohydrate and fat will be digested in the large, though the large intestine is the only place for absorption of water, but only the 2% of undigested food will be absorbed in the large intestine because of the secretion of enzymes secreted by the bacteria. These bacteria are very good friend of when you are alive. But after the death, the lividity in the forensic medicine, you'll hear the word lividity means discoloration. After the death, immediately discoloration begins from the cecum only, then in the bacteria will, putrefaction, they will spread out throughout the body. So the lividity begins from the cecum, means the first part of large intestine. That's why they might be knowing that to avoid the decomposition of the whole body, they remove the GI tract and they will take it out. So this is the great knowledge they were having, and also they are knowing about the amasha and pakvasha. Actually, they have told in the ashaya, they have told only amasha, pakvasha. They have not told anything about the small intestine. So they were knowing about the amasha and pakvasha. Also, it is another thing that they were having an idea. So this is the removing of a GI tract before starting the dissection. Next, the sequence of the study of different organs was probably depend upon the sequence of disintegration. So there was the knowledge the availability of an instrument and the availability of a time, they have done the dissection with the availability of instruments and time. Placing of a cadaver in a cage is for protection. Wrapping it in the layers of grass may also serve the same purpose. The instrument used for dissection were essentially of separating and cleaning type. Cutting type of instruments were not used, therefore the instruments were prepared from wood. So this is the cage where after collecting the body, removing anthra, they will keep the dead body in a cage. Before that, the body is wrapped with the manja, kusha, and other things, darbi. All these are the antiseptic. One research work has done that the munja, it is called as Sachiroma. That research work article published in the Hindu by Ranganath on March 16, 2015. He said that the munja itself as an antibacterial to keep the grains or the basin and other grains, wheat, jawar, all they were keeping in this manja prepared this thing, and this will prevent the further any creatures will not destroy these grains. So it is a research work has done. On the basis of this also they were tying the dead body with these munja, darbe and kusha, which will help further prevent the decomposition of the body. So that much knowledge they were having. So they were selecting these herbs to wrap the body and keep it in the cage. Another thing, another point of wrapping with those is to avoid eating the wild animals of the dead body and the fish which are there in the river. To avoid those also, they have wrapped with these grasses. Method of placing the cadaver in a bamboo cage and fixing the same in running water stream. The stones are used for ways to fix and immerse the cadaver completely under water. All the parts are fully dipped in water and no parts are left exposed to get. So the whole body is, it should be dipped in the water, and the bamboo cage will be tied with stones. That will, the cage itself is fixed and immerse the cadaver completely underwater. Next, a bird eye view of the possible dissection site at the time of Ayurveda. The place is only away from the human disturbance and interference. Clean, calm and quiet with plenty of water for cadaver as well as from the students to bath and clean themselves. So after the dissection, they used to do they used to have the bath. So for that, they need plenty of water. So they were selecting such a place. After doing the debris has to go one side and they should take the bath in another side. Such a trench they will prepare. They used to prepare in a river. Sentries with a bow, the trench is prepared, the boundary, they will frame it with the help of, they are using bow and arrows posted to keep away the wild animals and the human beings. So this is artificial, this is the one imaginary plan, imaginary diagram we have drawn here. So this is here, the dead body is there. Are you seeing the dead body? Which is, hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dead body is here. The main river is here. This main river is they utilize for the drinking water and purpose of water what they need for the home. Another artificial trench, or it may be a natural, they have made it where they keep the dead body, and they will keep the dead body here. Here the all students are sitting here just beside the tree. That is a Gurukula Paddhati. And whenever they need a body, they used to lift it and they will keep it under the tree and where they were doing the dissection. So this is the trench, they have made it here. That is a barricade. It is quite away from the normal river which public is using for drinking water and other purpose. And this water, beside that, before the main river is coming. Are you seeing the fishes are here? Fish. So this is the main river. There is another, they have made another canal here. And after doing the dissection, they will go back and they will do the, after doing the dissection, they used to have a bath to keep themselves away from the whatever the debris are there or anything attached to their hands or all the things. So this was the imaginary plan, what they were doing dissection in a river, or it is called a hydro dissection. Next, channel were perhaps dug to bring water to the cadaver trench, where it flowed as a slow but constant stream, and the cadaver was also protected from attack by water creatures, big and small, enabling the students and the teachers to bring it out of water to the study area and to place it back into the trench. The disintegrated portions of the body were presumably either allowed to flow downstream or were incinerated or buried. So the debris, which they allow it to flow in the water, or they may take it out and they may bury or they burn it. It was their dissection. Then period for dissection, it is a very great thing that we have to understand how they were doing a dissection, how many months they were taking it for the dissection. Nowadays, the dissection for first year, we are taking 8 months, but early days, what they have, how many days they have taken to do the dissection. The course of dissection may not last for more than 1 month. Within the 1 month, they were doing the dissection. Probably the best season was November, December, and January, because it is the winter season. According to Hindu calendar, Kartika, Magashira, Pushya, and Magha. So in this season, winter season, where extreme cold is there, in the extreme cold, water is also extreme cold, where they were collecting the body, keeping in the river, in the extreme cold river. That river itself is an ice cold, which acts as a preservative. Cadavers were collected from the Dharamshala and places of pilgrims where traveler died and there was no near and dear one to cremate. It probably the king's permission was necessary for this purpose. Just I had told that before in the previous slide. This is very important, very important, very important. So a pilot study has made by the Texas State University in the 2010 by Laura E. Ayers, a forensic expert who has published a research paper about the decomposition of the body. He has done it in the year of 2010 in the Texas State University. What he says in this research paper, he said 1 week of decomposition in air is equal to 2 weeks in the water. He said only water, not extreme cold water. Once again, I read it. 1 week of decomposition in air is equal to 2 weeks in water, which in turn is equal to 8 weeks in the ground. So in the ground, when you bury it, the decomposition will take place 8 weeks. When it is in the water, it is 2 weeks. Next, he said, in extreme cold water, like Himalayan water, it may be 1 month. So I highly appreciate the great person, Sushrita. Without any research work, it is the research work has done in 2010, just 10 years back. But Sushrita has told this 5,000 years back that 1 month in extreme cold we can do the dissection. There is no decomposition takes place. Thus, the research work in the Texas State University. He also said in extreme cold water like Himalayan water, it may be 1 month. So within the decomposition of the body, they used to do the dissection. We must hats up to the Sushrita. Next, time period for dissection. The course of dissection may not last for more than a month. Probably the best season was that I have told you already. And this is the one imaginary diagram I have drawn that how to take the body from the river. The body is already heavy because keeping the body itself in a river, it is quite heavy. That's why they were using the pulley. With the help of pulley, they used to take out the body from the river, keeping it on the land, on the ground, under the tree where they were conducting the dissection. An imaginary plan of the dissection site prepared from the description available from the various texts. There should be many more plans according to the geography site, the Gurukula, etc., but the basic requirements remain the same. So as I had told you, removing the antra, it is a great knowledge they were having. So after getting the body, they used to take out the antra, that is the large intestine and the small intestine, to avoid further decomposition where the lividity begins in the cecum only. Then problems with a modern method that I have told you, the dissection is last 12 hours. So getting the body to the dissection hall nowadays, it is maybe later, it may be delayed because all the things what they have to do, traditional they have to do in the home after the death, and bringing it to the dissection hall, it may take more than 6 hours. Within the 6 hours, we must get the body for the dissection purpose. After 6 hours, the decomposition will be more. When we bring the body within the 6 hours, the within 6 hours and injecting the formaldehyde, it will stop the decomposition. So in dissection hall, it is at least 12 hours, sometimes even more than that. In most of these cases, the hands and feet which are already emaciated becomes dry and hands are difficult to dissect. The situation is worsened by the formalin here hardening. Ayurveda considers palms and fingers one of the very important karmendriya. The method of hydrodissection, which is proved useful in the present investigations, may prove valuable in the dissection of hands and feet. This may enable one to gather more and accurate knowledge about their function as described in Ayurveda. Next, coming to that, I would like to tell you about the Ayurvedic students and modern students. What are the things probably, what are the difference between the dissection, how they were conducting old days and nowadays. Modern students means MBBS here. Is it visible? The slide is visible? Hello?
Sir.
Visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Are you understanding?
Yes,
Hello?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Boys? Boys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, loudly. Okay. Ayurvedic students and modern students. Bold, Ayurvedic student bold and having a aptitude for surgery. The choice is made by the beginning only. Here, modern students bold about aptitude. One cannot stay as a choice till final year. Time for the dissection of the cadaver is about a month. Dissection time is 1.5 years. The guru in the Ayurveda, guru will finalize. Those days, guru is the supreme. He will finalize whether he is able to become a doctor or not by observing him every day. His knowledge, he can understand his knowledge and attitude and skill. Here, by passing MBBS, he will become a doctor. Comparatively, few students for dissection and demonstration may not be more than 8 students. In Gurukula Paddhati, the guru was selecting only 8 to 10 students for the dissection. Now here, 150 to 100. The guru, the teacher cannot concentrate on each student. Individual attention was especially in Gurukula. Here, individual attention will not be there. Education was cheap, where guru was selecting the student. Here, education to get MBBS or a BMSc, they have to pay heavily. Dissection instrument very simple, made up of bamboo sticks and other sticks. Dissection box cost 200 to 300. Sharp instrument were rarely required while doing the dissection in Ayurveda in olden days. Now they are using the knives and scalpel and bone cutters and all. They may damage the minute structures. Then all the tissue were rendered very soft with the water. Therefore, the separation of structures needed. Formalin preserved tissue become hard and requires some forces as the separation is slow, tedious, and laborious. So in hydrodissection where water is flowing, we can see that clearly the microstructures, but when the body is embalmed with the formalin solution, the rigidity has developed, discoloration, that we are unable to see the microstructures. That is one of the. Next, coming to the dissection of the skin of layers. So in the first 7 days, dissection, there was a full separation of all 7 layers of the skin. The skin came out with as time proceeded. The deep fascia and muscle perhaps got separated in the next 7 days. First 7 days layers, next 7 days deep fascia and all. And after fortnight, means 15 days, ligaments of various joints separated. This is how they were conducting the dissection in olden days. As deposited in the diagram, the place selected was either lonely or was barricaded so that dissection site was shut off from the general public. So those days after doing the dissection, they used to have the bath. Nowadays, after doing the dissection, they used to wash their hands. Sometimes it is not available, even not in the government MBBS college. I have seen that just they are wearing the apron and gloves. After the dissection, an Ayurveda student had to take a bath, pray God in the form of Sandhya Vandana or any related prayers. So those days they were doing all this for the prayashchit. It is also possible that after the course in dissection, the student was required to take a prayashchit so that even the residual feelings of guilty or fear may be disappear. After dissection, adequate, there is no. The apron is only an incomplete protection nowadays from the dirt of cardware. Only a bath after the dissection can complete protection. Of course, in Western countries with an extremely cold climate, a bath after very dissection may not be visible. The thing by doing dissection for a long period with a formalin solution, you may get fingers become shriveled after long dissection. Formalin preserved. Cardware is dissected according to Ayurvedic methods. No shrivelage of fingers occur. Not there is any burning of the eyes as formalin. Chemicals are not used for the prevention of the human cardware. So these are the things, leaves that they were using to tie the dead body and keeping it in a cage. So these are the instruments they are using. These are the available bones and the horns. They use it as an instrument to do the dissection and blow and to take out the water which are there on the organs. So with the help of these naturally occurring instruments, one was able to push and pull, tease or separate the various organs. The hollow horns were used for blowing away the particles or the dirt. Sometimes they were used for sucking the fluids which interfered with the sight. They used to suck the fluid which are there on the minute structure where the water is flowing or unable to take it out. They used to suck it with the help of sticks. The hollow bones were used as a measures. So these are the things, instrument they were using. Okay, with this, thank you one and all. Hello?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So finally, I will do the conclusion of this. Okay, according to available literature, an attempt to highlight the procedure of dissection and how cadaver was dissected. According to the literature mentioned above, the dissection was conducting in extreme cold rivers. This low temperature will stop the further decomposition of the body. Bodies were collecting most probably from the Dharmashala pilgrim's death, where there is no near deer, with the permission of supreme authority. Supreme authority here is a king who is ruling that area, who was ruling that area. The period of dissection were conducting in 1 month, and layers of skin were dissected by the current of running water in 7 days. Instruments for the dissection were made up of bamboo sticks, horns, bones, and animals. Bodies were covered by the grass, which prevents further decomposition. The diagram shown in the article, which is imaginary and will give idea how they were conducting a dissection unknown place. This imaginary diagrams I try to make our students who have entered in the BMS courses, just that shloka, on the basis of that shloka and on the collecting matter from various Sanhitas and from our seniors, I have tried to make our students to understand how they were doing collecting and doing the dissection in a flowing river. Natural canals or natural deviated water streams were selected as a spot of dissection area. So this is things what I have explained now. I hope you have all understood. Finally, I thank to the all authorities who have given me the opportunity to explain this to your students. And also I am thankful to the teachers of anatomy. And also I am thankful to the principal Kulkarni, who is my best friend. And also I am thankful to your authorities. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If any students having any doubt, they can ask. If they have any questions, you can ask, sir, or you can type in the chat box.
Almost all, it's 1 hour.
Yes, sir. No issue, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's almost 1 hour, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
If you students, if you are having any questions, you can ask, sir.
Hello?
Okay. Yes, sir.
You,
Sir,
otherwise, if they are
many-
not, if they are not ready to ask a question, you give them my number. They can, by sending through the WhatsApp, they can type it and send me. Anytime, I will answer them. Okay.
Yes, sir. No issues, sir.
Okay.
Sir, there is a question on Facebook, sir.
Okay.
How anatomy is studied in Ayurveda, sir?
How?
Is it the same as that? How anatomy is studied in Ayurveda that you have explained? Sir, his next question is it the same as that of the allopathy medicine, or there is any change, sir?
Just to repeat the question.
Sir, is the anatomy which is studied in Ayurveda that you have explained, sir, now? His question is it same as that of allopathy medicine, the study of allopathy medicine, or is there any change now?
No. Just I have explained there was a lot of changes in the Ayurvedic system that I have highlighted in my presentation, that how the
Yes, sir.
dissection was conducting in those days. What was the preservative things, how they were collecting the dead bodies and all the things. And what they are doing after the independence, how the dissection is conducting also, I told it, with mainly the formaldehyde preservation, they were doing the dissection. They are doing the dissection still. And lumen casting and plastination is an advanced stage now. So there is a lot of
Yeah, sir.
difference between Ayurvedic and allopathic dissection. When formaldehyde traced out, their preservation have started. Early days, there was no solution of preservation. They keeping the hydrodissection was the only system keeping the body in the current water, which is flowing.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So I would like to thank sir for his informative lecture regarding the history of Sharira subject. He has given us highlight on various ancient techniques given in the text, along with his simple and yet descriptive diagrams picture to understand the various methodologies which were used in the ancient period and the methodologies which we are using now, and the problem faced by all the dissect anatomy students as well as the teachers due to the use of various preservation materials and the so it was very informative lecture, sir. So I would like to thank on behalf of Rachna Sharir Department of Faculty of Ayurveda, the management for giving us the opportunity to conduct these lectures. Our main guest of honor, the guest speaker, Dr. Hirimet sir, the Dean Faculty of Ayurveda, Dr. Hemant Chikane sir, the Principal of PIR, Dr. Vijay Kulkarni sir, the faculties of Ayurveda colleges, and the technical assistance given by Dr. Navadev Raju sir, Mr. Tejas sir, Dr. Bhavin Dhanode sir, and Kamlesh Marathe sir for their support. I would like to thank all the viewers who are watching and patiently listening to the lecture on Facebook as well as on the Google Meet. And I would, last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students who had attended this lecture. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank
We
you.
will end this lecture.
Okay?
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Bye.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
thank
Have a
you.
good day, sir.
Okay, thank you. You send me the attended list, okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you all.
thank you.
Yes, please.